Okay, awesome. Welcome, welcome everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Cristo Rey Network College Fair. We're very excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Chelsea. I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo Rey. Okay, I'd like to now turn it over to our first presenter, St. Anselm College.
Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Mary Lou McCambly. I am from St. Anselm College. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see some information about the college itself. We are a small liberal arts Benedictine Catholic college located in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is roughly an hour away from Boston. We're on the southern part of New Hampshire, which I like to say is the more active part of the state. There's a lot to do here, so students aren't necessarily in the middle of nowhere. Manchester is the most diverse city. It's also the largest city in New Hampshire. So there's a lot for our students to do on campus and off campus. As you can see, we have about 2,000 students on campus. Our classroom sizes are small, about 18 typically in a class. We have one of the things I guess that makes our school a little bit unique, and I'm going to go to the second slide because it will show, if I can get it to go, it shows our majors that we have here on campus. One of the things that makes us unique is that we do have a monastic community here on campus. So we have Benedictine monks who reside in a monastery behind the chapel. They are faculty members and administrators, so our students do really get to know them on a more personal level while they're on campus. Another thing that makes us unique is, as you can see, politics is one of our majors on campus, and we have what's called the New Hampshire Institute of Politics. And with that, we host the presidential debates once every 4 years, and depending on who is a candidate, we could have either the Democratic debates on campus or the Republicans or both. So it's a pretty active time on our campus. It's a pretty big deal. We do make national news every 4 years. So with that, we have news agencies, we have Secret Service on our campus. And so it's a pretty popular event that takes place that people from all over the country come to view. Another thing that we've just added onto our programs, and it's not listed here, is that we do have a criminal justice 4+1. It's our first master's program. And so students who come into criminal justice as a major can choose to do the 4+1 program. And they would just stay here for that additional year to complete their master's program. And so the school itself, we're I'm going to lose track of what I was saying. I'm going to go back to this slide. I did have another slide. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to this application deadlines. And so here is what we're looking at for students. One of our other popular programs is nursing. And so that's our only direct entry program on campus. So if you are interested in nursing, that is a program that you are going to have to apply to early. So it would be one of the early decision or early action deadlines. Unfortunately, you would not have the option of the regular decision. But as you can see, it is our most competitive program on campus. We do review those applications prior to other applications. And as you can see, our GPA for nursing is a little bit higher than our overall GPA for what I call non-nursing. So with nursing, you are applying to the nursing program. If you're any other major, you are applying to St. Anselm College. And as I said, it is a liberal arts college. There are certain requirements with liberal arts, and one being language. So students will have to take a language. And so I always like to put that out there so that students know that is one of the criteria for a liberal arts education. And I know that there's so many more things I could talk about with the school. If anyone has any questions, there is a Q&A that you can put in there. We do work very closely with the Cristo Rey students. I'm the liaison for Cristo Rey in our office. And I work with the schools to be able to communicate with the students on what we offer for our Cristo Rey students. And I do like to let the students know that we do have support on our campus for our students coming from diverse populations and from the Cristo Rey schools. We have what's called Hilltop Academy, which is a summer bridge program. We also have our intercultural center that our students tend to spend a lot of time at. We are a very community-oriented school, so students who like to do community service will go to the Amelia Center, and they will work with them on doing service, typically in the Manchester area. But there's a lot for our students to do, but we have the support on our campus to help students. And I know that's very important for Cristo Rey students to be able to come on campus and have a support system in place to be able to help them throughout the 4 years. And so if anyone has any questions with regard to the university partnership that we have with Cristo Rey, I would be the contact person you would reach out to just to talk about financial aid, talk about the what's awarded for students that are Cristo Rey students that are admitted to the school, and any just general questions that you might have. We are working on possibly doing a visit to campus for students that are more local in the New England area, but not wholly against any student wanting to come from further away. We would try to make as many arrangements as we can, particularly with an overnight visit that we do in the spring. If students are admitted to the school, we offer an overnight visit, and hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this year we will be able to go back to doing that. For the last 2 years, we've had to do it virtual, but I am hoping that within this year that we'd be able to go back to our overnight visit and have students coming from all across the country to attend that particular event. And and with that, any students that need help with that would also reach out to me, and I'd be available to them for that as well. That would be all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so then I am going to pass it off next to St. Peter's University.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylee Galbraith. I'm from St. Peter's University. My pronouns are she, her, and let's get going. So St. Peter's University is a Jesuit university. We are located in Jersey City, New Jersey. For a Jesuit, it means many things to many different people. We always like to say our students come for a degree, but leave with so much more. Some of the big takeaways from this, though, is Cura Personalis, which I'll touch on in a second, community service, which again, I'll touch on in a second. And the last thing I want to make very clear is you do not need to be Catholic to attend St. Peter's. We are welcoming to everyone, any faith, religion, background, anything like that. All are welcome at St. Peter's. And we're just a really great space for everyone. Excuse me. We are a pretty small school, about 3,600 students. The average class size freshman year is around 22, can get down to as low as 13 or 14 once you get more into your concentration. Student to faculty ratio is 13:1. So you really get that individualized attention, and your professors are really there for you every step of the way. They want to see you succeed in all aspects of your life, which is kind of where that Cura Personalis comes in, which means care for the whole person. So again, your professors are there for you every step of the way, personally, professionally, things like that. They know your name, you're not a number or anything. And really just everyone is there for you, staff, as well as the professors. We have a 94% job placement rate after graduation, which is a number that we are super proud of. So that means 94% of our graduating class either has a job or in their field or is attending graduate school. So that's super awesome. Our mascot is the peacock. You can see a picture of Pete right there. He is a pretty cool mascot, and he is the symbol of immortality. So that's really cool. And down here is the 50,000 hours of student community engagement each year, or community service. That's something that we really take a lot of pride in at St. Peter's. Our students are always volunteering. We have a ton of clubs on campus dedicated to that. We have a campus kitchen where students can go and prepare meals for people in need in the neighborhood. We have a club called Junkyard Dogs, where Our students go around and clean up Jersey City, just tons of opportunities to get involved and help the community out. So we are located in Jersey City, New Jersey. We're about 12 minutes from Manhattan. So we actually have a shuttle that goes directly to the PATH station, which is like the subway that takes you from New Jersey into New York or back. So the shuttle is definitely a great tool for our students to use. And obviously there's tons of things to do in New York City, internship wise, as well as fun things with Broadway coming back, which we're super excited about, shopping and everything in between. So we're in a really, really great location. For academics, we do have over 50 majors. Our top 5 are biology, psychology, business, criminal justice, and nursing. And within those majors, we do have some, in all of our majors, we have some really great state-of-the-art technology. So we have a trading room that simulates Wall Street, which is really cool for our business students to use. We do have a nursing simulation lab. So these are dummies that our students can practice on before going in the real world and doing something on a real person, which is really great. And then we also have a new cybersecurity center, which is great for our cybersecurity students, some really awesome technology there. And we are getting a new computer center with AI technology for our new major of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So lots of great stuff happening at St. Peter's, lots of new technology coming in. I'm really excited about it. We do have over 70 student organizations on campus. So we have student government, tons of clubs, activities. We have everything from an anime club to a knitting club. We have a puppy club, which is my personal favorite. And these students actually train a service dog before it goes on to help a person in need. So I think that's really awesome. We also have a ton of different opportunities to get involved. We have the picture here is from our Peacock Color Run, which they do every year. We have different activities going on. So next weekend, I believe they're hosting a Grit and Wit, which is a obstacle course, but it also has puzzles and things like that. So you use your brains as well as your body to get things done. So always something fun going on at St. Peter's. I always tell students, if you're bored, it's your fault, because you can definitely always find something to do. We are Division I for athletics, and you can see our sports listed here. If you are interested in playing anything, go on our website and reach out to the coach, fill out a prospective athlete form, and somebody will be in touch with you. For residence life, we are about 50-50 commuter residents. So the majority of our students do come from New Jersey. But that being said, we do offer housing all 4 years, guaranteed. So you have the option of doubles and triples, freshman, sophomore years, the traditional residence hall style, junior, seniors, more apartment style housing. You can see a picture of one of the rooms here. They are huge compared to what I lived in my undergrad. So I always like to highlight that. For commuting, as I said, about 50% of our students do come from New Jersey or the surrounding area. So there's a free shuttle from Journal Square, tons of campus parking, as well as commuter meal plans for our students. So you won't be hungry when you're on campus. So for the application process, we do what's called a holistic reading at St. Peter's. So we look at everything. So we look at your GPA, your SAT scores. If you choose to submit them, we are a test optional school for everything but nursing and our pre-professional programs. We do require your scores for that. We also take a look at your essay and read that and use all of that to assess your readiness for college and make sure that you would be a good fit at St. Peter's. So cost of attendance, I know these numbers are big and scary. The good news is nobody pays that. That's because every student admitted to St. Peter's does receive a scholarship. Last year, our baseline scholarship was $20,000, moves up with GPA and or SAT scores all the way to a full ride. We also have a Catholic Schools Award, we have a legacy grant, and we even have a Cristo Rey scholarship for you guys. So definitely a great opportunity. We are a free application, so I always encourage students to apply because you never know exactly how much you're going to get. So as I said, we are a free application. We are on the Common App, and we also have our PDF application. And you can see our email listed there. I'll also drop that in a chat in a couple minutes. But I am all done. Thank you guys for having me today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, now I'm going to pass it off to St. John Fisher College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. Let me just get my presentation up for everybody. So I'm an admissions counselor from St. John Fisher College, and we are a college located in Rochester, New York. We are a college with Catholic heritage. So what that means is that we did separate from the church. And so while we do have religious courses and mass available to all our students, and it's something a lot of students take advantage of, it's no longer a requirement through our institution. We are a very small college, so we have a population of about 2,600. And so what that means is that we can keep our classroom sizes small. We do value that small classroom environment. So you're looking at a typical class size of 20 to 25 your first year and your sophomore year. And then those really start to decrease once you start getting really concentrated in your major, as low as maybe 10 or even in the single digits. And then anyone interested in science, our max lab size is 16. And the reason we do that is, once again, we do value that small classroom environment, and we want you to be able to have your own lab equipment, so there is no sharing, and for you to be able to reach your professor with any questions you may have. We always tell students when they're thinking about what college they want to go to really consider the location. This is about to be your new home away from home. So you just want to make sure that not only are you comfortable on campus, but you're comfortable out in the city. And so Rochester is really a college city. There's a lot of colleges in the area. And so what's amazing about that is that since all the companies understand that we are a college student hub, there are tons of internship opportunities. And then there's a lot of fun things always going on in the city. And then the last point is great food. And we always bring that up because St. John Fisher is actually #1 in New York State for best college food. But if you do get tired of that #1 best college food, there's also over 2,000 restaurants in the city itself. Our school is split up into 5 different schools. And so we have our School of Arts and Sciences, and that's our most diverse school. The most popular majors in there are sport management, which was the first accredited sport management program in New York State. We also have any sciences, math. That'll all be School of Arts and Sciences. Our School of Business is home to our 5 business majors. Our School of Education is for anyone interested in becoming a teacher. You can choose between adolescent and childhood. And then with that education degree, you also get an inclusive certification, which just means you can teach in an inclusive classroom. And it really just makes our students more marketable. We have our Wegman School of Nursing. And so what the School of Nursing is a direct entry program for us. So if we accept you from your senior year of high school, your 2 seats in your 2 years of clinicals are saved for your junior and senior year. And you're really, instead of being in competition with other people trying to get into nursing school, you really spend your first 2 years in competition with yourself, really just making sure you're keeping your GPA up and passing all your nursing classes. And then lastly, we do have a Wegman School of Pharmacy for anyone interested in becoming a pharmacist. We have an early assurance program. So typically it takes 4 years of undergraduate work and then 4 years of pharmacy school. At Fisher, you could potentially get a PharmD in 6 years. And overall, we have over 30 undergraduate majors. We're really big on hands-on learning. So there's a few different types of opportunities. The first being study abroad. We have over 100 different programs in 80 different countries. And our school is very unique in the sense that we encourage all our majors to study abroad. And whatever financial aid and grants you get here and at our school transfers with you abroad. So essentially all you're really worrying about is that airfare to get to whatever country you choose. We have internships, which I've touched on a little bit already. We have undergraduate student research, and so that just means that research is also available to all of our students, all majors, whoever's interested, not just our science majors. We have community engaged learning, and so those are classes that we encourage all our students to take. It works with every major. What happens is you spend a few days in the classroom learning whatever it may be. Maybe it's the science of aging and you're learning how aging affects the body. And then you spend 2 other days in a nursing home working with an elderly patient of how they could better their balance or better their memory. And lastly, we have that government semester for anyone interested in politics or government. You could sign up for this semester and you'll spend it in either Albany or Washington, D.C. And then what you would do is you would spend the semester there doing an internship and going to classes. Admissions wise, we are a rolling admissions college. So what that means is that there's no hard deadline on our application. You can apply to us all year long. And the other thing I'd like to point out here is that we are optional for ACTs and SATs. And that is for every major. And we mean that in the best way possible. So if you already took this test, we do recommend you send it. And what's going to happen is we're going to run your application twice. And if we run it once and once with your scores and once without your scores. And whichever one gives you the better opportunity is the one we will pretend like we didn't even see the other one. That's the one we'll consider. Every incoming student does get awarded a merit scholarship, and there is no separate application for this. This is automatic. So these are our top 3 tiers. And if you fall within the last 2, which is the presidential and the trustees, you're invited to apply to our honors program. And so that's another $2,000 annually. And you also get priority registration each semester because registration is by credit here at Fisher. We have a few special scholarships. So if you're a student right now in high school and you're very active with volunteerism and service, I definitely recommend you apply to our service scholarship. It is a separate application. It goes to 24 incoming students and it's half the total cost of attendance. And so what some requirements for that is that you'll have to do 65 hours of volunteer your first year and then 200 the remaining, which might sound like a crazy jump, but you do get a coordinator that works around your school schedule, if you have a job, and they kind of work with your interests. So if maybe you're interested in teaching, you might be an after-school tutor in an inner city. And then the second one is the first generation scholarship. This applies to any student whose parents did not attend a 2 or 4 year institution. Once again, it goes to 24 incoming freshmen. It is half the cost of attendance and it is a separate application. And so the recipients do have to do some service for this one as well. So it's 30 that first year and 60 for the remaining. And then the Flower City Award is an automatic award that goes to anyone from out of state. So if you live on Long Island or if you're out of New York State, congratulations, you're a Flower City recipient, and that is $5,000 per year. And I am all done.
Awesome presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, last but simply not least, Moyne College, it's you're up.
Okay, good evening, Cristo Rey. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kwesi Abua with Moyne College, of which I am a proud 2016 alum. I also had the pleasure of being a Jesuit volunteer for Cristo Rey Jesuit in Pilsen. So I'm especially glad to sit with you this evening and talk to you about the ways that you could continue the wonderful foundation of the Cristo Rey grad here at Moyne. Just a quick note, you'll see on our screen here that we have a QR code. Please take out your phones, so you can link up with us, get on our mailing list and hear about the wonderful events that we've got coming up. It'll come up again at the end of the slide presentation. So if you don't have a second to do that, don't worry. Our students benefit from the perks of a smaller college in the great college town of Syracuse, New York, which is easily accessible to other major cities in the Northeast, complete with great shopping and dining options, outdoor activities such as hiking and skiing, and more internship opportunities than one could wish for. Moyne is the youngest of the 27 Jesuit colleges in the United States. While learning about Jesuit colleges, you will often hear the phrase cura personalis, or care of the whole person. This is an education with a focus on the mind, body, and spirit, as well as a path of developing a love for learning and growth you'll take with you long after you graduate. Moyne students come from different backgrounds with different interests, religious and personal beliefs, and it should be noted that you do not need to be Catholic to attend a Jesuit college. This style of education helps to create a community of well-rounded, critical thinking global citizens. At Moyne, giving back to our community is part of who we are, and you can see that reflected in service learning opportunities, as well as volunteer opportunities within many of our clubs. Our average class size is of 20 to 22 students, and this helps to foster connections both inside and outside of the classroom. Our professors are at the top of their fields, and their focus is your education. If you're looking to engage in a deep conversation and deep conversations, get hands-on experience with the classroom, access internships and opportunities, be actively engaged in your community through service, then Moyne might just be the place for you to thrive. Our core curriculum, innovative classes, and dedicated faculty and staff help to prepare students well for success during their academic career and life beyond the heights. The Lemoyne student appreciates a comprehensive liberal arts education with a preparation for specific career paths through popular majors such as business, biology, political science, psychology, and education, just to name a few. At Lemoyne, we have 3 schools. We're separated into 3 schools, and that would be our College of Arts and Sciences, the Madden School of Business, and our Purcell School for Professional Studies. These colleges are not mutually exclusive at all, so you can definitely take classes in any of the schools and study an interdisciplinary curriculum that fulfills your variety of interests. We also offer a number of accelerated master's degree and partnership programs, including a direct entry PA program, nursing, occupational therapy, a 5-year MBA, 3+3 law, among others. In addition to world-class learning and career opportunities, students will find a warm and welcoming college atmosphere with a vibrant and engaging social scene. And this is thanks in part to opportunities such as our Division II athletics, our Performing Arts Center, Lemoyne-sponsored events and activities, and the over 80 clubs and organizations on our campus. Every year, that number of clubs grow and evolve, right? And this is an example of the fact that we very much value student-led initiative. The possibilities for experiences outside of the campus are many, with a number of study abroad opportunities, national and international class trips, research opportunities, and our guaranteed internship program. Our applicant profile is very straightforward. We are looking for well-rounded, curious, motivated students just like yourselves who are willing to challenge themselves in and out of the classroom. The average GPA for a student accepted to Lemoyne is a 3.4 or B+. We are test optional for admission. And applying to Lemoyne is simple, as you can apply for free via the Common App or the Moyne College direct application. We don't have a preference to it, but we do ask that you only apply through one medium. Your completed application includes the actual application and your personal statement, an official high school transcript, and a letter of recommendation from your guidance counselor, a teacher, and another source on your campus. For those of you in your senior year of high school, our application is now available. We offer early action consideration with a November 15th deadline. And just so you remember, early action is not binding. And we also are a rolling admissions school with a February 1st deadline. Our direct entry physician assistant program, which requires an interview as part of the application process, also has a deadline of November 15th. So if you're interested in the direct entry PA program, it would be good to keep that one in mind. Academically competitive students will find themselves as a recipient of one of our generous merit-based scholarships, right, of up to $25,000 per year. It should be noted that 95% of our students do receive some sort of financial aid, right? Receive a combination of financial aid and scholarships, which is why we are consistently ranked as a top choice for affordability and value. Lemoyne also offers a unique scholarship career readiness program for all students through our Promise New York Scholarship Opportunity Program. And that offers students an additional $2,500 per year automatically. We also promise to do our most to keep you on track to graduate in 4 years, connecting you with a mentor, internship opportunities, and really making sure that you get the most out of your education. Students graduate from Lemoyne and go out into the world to do great things. Our placement rate for students in a career or graduate program of their choice within 6 months of graduation has been 98% over the last few years. My hope tonight is that you would be interested in some of the things that we've spoken about and come to find out a way that you could join in on our community here. Please do come and visit us on our campus and learn what it's like to be a Lemoyne Dolphin. Even from the comfort of your home, you can take a virtual tour meet with a faculty member, or chat with a current student or admission counselor. We're also offering in-person events and tours, and I encourage you to sign up quickly if you are interested, because space is limited and these things do fill up pretty quickly. This fall alone, we have 3 in-person open house events, and you can learn more by joining our mailing list, again, with that QR code in the corner. We look forward to getting to know you. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to contact us with any questions.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Lemoyne, and thank you everyone for presenting. At this point, I am going to ask that all of the presenters come back on screen. I am going to share a couple of questions, and we're going to do a round robin kind of a thing. So let me pull up the question here, and then we're going to go in the same order that we were going with originally with the institutions. So my first question here is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And let's have St. Anselm College go first.
Okay, so my one advice would be to start your application as soon as you can to schools that you're highly interested in. Take your time filling out the application. I've been telling students on the road that a good thing to do with all the colleges that you're applying to is keep yourself organized. A good way to do that is with spreadsheets. Another suggestion would be on your phone, you have an app for notes. Keep track of all the username and passwords, because for every college that you apply to, most of them, if not all, are going to give you access to a portal that you have to go on to see what documents have been received and what documents are missing. And so because of that, everyone has a different username and password, and it can get a little complicated. Students tend to forget. And so in order to keep yourself organized, I would suggest that during your process that you keep track of all the username and passwords that you're going to need to go onto all the different platforms.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, St. Peter's University, you're up next.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I have 2 big things. The first one is to ask questions. That's what we are here for. That's what we love to do, is to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have about our schools. So don't be afraid to reach out. There is no dumb question. We're always happy to talk. And the other thing is, if you can, definitely go visit the schools. You want to get a good feel for this place. You're going to spend the next 4 years of your life there. So definitely having a sense of the community and getting to visit is really important.
Thank you so much. All right, St. John Fisher College, you're up next.
Thank you. I always say consider the small things. So, definitely go to a college and look at their education department, whatever major you're interested in. Consider all the big facts, but then really sit down and look at the colleges you're considering and think about the small things like classroom size. Where do you see yourself succeeding, in a small classroom, in a big classroom? Do you prefer to have that one-on-one attention with professors? And the environment, which really just hits on what Kaylee just said. Visit the colleges if you have an opportunity, because being on that campus really gives you a sense of, does this feel like home? Does this feel like a place I could be for the next 4 years? And then I always make this joke, but think about the food. A lot of people don't think about the food. Make sure you like it. You're about to potentially eat that for the next 4 years. So even think about the food, think about printing. So just consider the small things. Once you get maybe down to your top 3 schools and you're like, I have no idea, just start looking at those small details and it'll all help you out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, Moyne College, you're up.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, in addition to the great advice that was given by the other counselors, I would say, really taking inventory of who you are and where you are, taking a moment to consider the things that are important to you, right? I'm a big advocate, of journaling. And so grab yourself a little college application process journal and start to think about, where you've been, where you're coming from, right? And some of your hopes and dreams, some of the things that you would like to get out of a college experience, and really start to go from there. Making your meetings with your guidance counselor in school, making sure that you are on track, right? Making sure that you've got those deadlines, right? So you don't want to rush it, but you also, you don't want to be behind either, right? And so writing things down is a great way to keep yourself organized, to be introspective about your experience, and really take ownership over it all.
Absolutely. Thank you. Those are all great responses. I think we have time for one more question. So let's pull that up. Alrighty. Next question is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school specifically? And we'll start back at the top with St. Anselm College.
Awesome. So the biggest thing about our school is that we are a very community-oriented school, like so small that you're going to get to know pretty much everyone on campus. You're going to get to know your professors. You're going to have one-on-one conversations. You're going to be able to network. And so I feel like with the small institutions, and I believe that most of us are small institutions, you're going to have so much more opportunity with the professors that you meet. And so I feel with our school, and I can kind of give you an anecdote. I had a group of students visiting on campus, and I had a counselor who went through the line to get a cup of coffee. And as they were going through the line, another student from our school who did not know this counselor said, "You know what, don't worry about it. I'll take care of your coffee." And the counselor just was kind of hugely impressed by that, because that's what our students do. They put themselves out there. They get to know who you are. If they have extra dollars on their meal plan at the end, they're giving it out to students that don't have extra dollars on their meal. So there's a lot of things that our students do to help one another while they're on campus, to lift them up and make them feel like they're really part of a community. So I think that that's the one thing that I can tell you. And I'm not originally from New Hampshire. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. And so to come to New Hampshire and New England in general, that was a big plus for me in the area of feeling comfortable where I'm at. So even though the state itself presents itself as a predominantly white state, for me, I felt very comfortable because Manchester itself is pretty diverse, and our students have a lot of options off campus. So that's one thing I definitely want to kind of allow the students that are listening to this to know that the area in which you're going to be is a pretty open and caring community.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. St. Peter's University, you're up.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to choose, but I think the biggest thing is going to be that cure personalis that I mentioned earlier, care for the whole person. It's really true. Our professors are there for you every step of the way, and the community, like she was saying for about St. Anselm, like everybody's there for each other. Everyone wants to see everyone else succeed. I guess I do have a story also that I can share for the professors, like really, really caring about you at the beginning of the pandemic when we were transferring everything to be virtual. I'm also currently getting my degree from St. Peter's, a graduate degree, and I missed a homework assignment because everything's crazy and we were all transitioning. And instead of just giving me a 0 and kind of moving on with their day, my professor reached out to make sure that I was doing okay. And just that I was okay in the process. And she was like, "It's really not like you. So I wanted to make sure you were okay." And then she gave me an extra day to kind of get that assignment done because she realized that it had just fallen through with transitioning and everything like that. So, and I know she's not the only professor who will do that. I know a lot of our students had similar stories where all of their professors reached out and just tried to make sure that they were okay during this time. And it doesn't just happen during a global pandemic, it is all the time.
Thank you so much for that. St. John Fisher.
Yes, of course. I would just highlight our experiential learning. Our school has a very deep connection with the community. Every single school has an internship coordinator. So you're going to get out into the real world and get those hands-on experiences that are going to be highlighted on your resume. And it'll look great when you're applying to jobs. And that's why we have most of our nurses graduate with a job before they graduate, and then within 4 months we have 100% job placement. And it's because we have them doing clinicals in all the hospitals around, so they start building and networking really early in their careers and their educational careers. And you have opportunities from your first year all the way into your last year, from internships, getting involved on campus. We are a very small campus, so even just getting involved with a professor. Personal story as well, I was going to graduate and had no idea what direction I wanted to go in. And the person who had the job before me, the admissions counselor before me, came up to me after a brunch that we had on campus and was like, "I'm leaving, you should apply for this job." And so there's opportunities everywhere in the community, and we love to have our students get that hands-on learning early so that they feel prepared when they're going into the work world.
Thank you so much. I'm loving these stories. All right, Lemoyne, you're up.
Oh, right. So Lemoyne is celebrating 75 years this year, right? That's 75 years of practicing a over 400-year tradition rooted in the Jesuit values, right? And so that idea of cura personalis, that care of the whole person, magis, this idea that, you know, continue to strive for more, right? And be the most that you can be, the best that you can be. Caring for others, right? The kind of community that we have on our campus. I remember the first time that I set foot on campus myself. I was a high school student coming to visit for the first time. And there was a point where I'm walking across the front of the building and I just look and I'm like, this is where I'm going to be for the next 4 years. And that's one of the best decisions that I've made as a young adult. And looking at the ways that it's opened so many doors and, you know, meeting so many people and people who don't want to leave the campus, right? That are continually committed to the growth of the campus, to the growth and the execution of our mission. We're a very mission-driven group over at Lemoyne, and very invested in each other's success. And that's where I would leave it. That's where I would leave it.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. So that just about wraps it up. I just want to say a couple quick things to bring it all together. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find the sessions recording as well as all the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/Cristo Rey. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for presenting. It's been a wonderful evening.